Hi there, I'm Mr. Francis, Senior Leader and Subject Leader for Art and Photography, and I'm going to talk you through the potential for Key Stage 4 photography at GCSE. It's a really exciting course. It's not, as is kind of demonstrated in this video here, it's not necessarily just straightforward photography, but incorporates so much more. That might be experimental kind of sculpture, performance, video, animation, photos, kind of photo bookmaking. There's so much to it, so there's lots to look forward to. I'm not going to be able to cover it all in 5 minutes, so what I've done is I've created a website here. You can go to artpedagogy.com and under resources, and this is for art and photography students. It's got loads of information about creative possibilities, creative industries, how the course is structured, examples of work. And so I definitely encourage you to go and have a look at that. There's also our website, photopedagogy.com, which shares all of the project work and loads of ideas relating to photography education. And so that's another important port of call for photography students. So lots of information online to pick up on. And so, but what I do want to kind of emphasize is that the value of the transferable skills that photography develops. It's such a great subject to get you out in the world and engaging with people, looking, questioning, noticing. And especially at the moment when the world's a little bit upside down, developing those visual literacy skills, being able to unpick news images and to kind of question and think critically, they're really important skills. And it's good for you. It's good for your well-being. It gets you out and about and it gets you collaborating. And they're real strengths of the course as well. So how is the course structured? Well, Year 10 is much more teacher-led in that you're learning technical aspects of photography, how camera settings work, processes. You'll make your own cameras, we'll create a camera obscura, and we'll learn those kind of fascinating histories of photography. And then alongside that, you'll be learning contemporary approaches, digital technologies, editing software such as Photoshop. You'll have the choice of working in a sketchbook or creating your own website, and we'll teach you how to do that and use a content management system. And it's coursework based, which is another really kind of good point for students, that that final grade is so much more in your hands rather than a kind of final sports hall style exam. And so loads of possibilities there, and that's a really exciting kind of framework to work within. There's a good example here of a Year 11 student who was fascinated with drone photography, aerial photography, and he put on his own exhibition in the art department. And it's just one example of how your interests, especially as you get to Year 11, become the thing that lead the way. And it's very much about us staff talking to students as artists, developing that understanding, and then you working in the ways that most interest you and are going to help you with your next stages as well. So it's 60% portfolio-based, 40% assignment, but that's nothing like any kind of traditional exam. And the whole course is really structured around these big ideas, these key concepts which provoke thinking and practical experimenting. It's assessed through 4 key objectives, broadly kind of put: developing ideas, experimenting with media and techniques, critical thinking, making meaningful outcomes. But important to say too, I think the reason why students really enjoy the subject and they get on so well with it is that the emphasis is on you becoming artists, photographers, working in your own way, and the high grades that we get, that we're proud of, are a byproduct of that rather than something that is there kind of as a cloud and a pressure. And so there are some common misconceptions about photography. It is a serious subject and it's not a light option. And people have occasionally asked about the EBAC, which is a government measure for certain subjects. But even top universities now are recognising the flaws in that and are promoting a kind of a more holistic approach to your curriculum and kind of continuing that creative development. And photography can be really useful for that. Lots of students ask about cameras and do I need an expensive camera? And you definitely don't. You don't want one of those Hasselblads, that's for sure. But next to that's an example of a camera I made out of my son's Lego. And there's another example here of a pinhole camera made out of an old wooden box. So we experiment with all types of photography. Phone cameras in most instances are perfectly fine, but we also have cameras within the department that students can borrow. And if anybody's thinking about buying a camera, then definitely don't go rush out and spend your money until you've spoken, and we can advise based on the budget available as well. So I guess the message is there's nothing to worry about in that respect. And where might photography lead to? Well, lots of students go on and you might study A-level. There's obviously other options as well. And our photography students at A-level certainly go on to do things like a foundation course or go straight to degree level. That might be commercial photography, or it might be something completely different, but where those transferable skills have helped them to develop their university applications. There's lots of possibilities within the creative industry, not just limited to something as kind of simple as a photographer, and you can see the website for more information for that too. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight. Like I said, loads more to go and look at there. Any questions, come and speak to us. We'd love to show you student work, or you can email me on the address below. And I wish you all the very best of luck with these options, and we're here to help.